Peace, 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 peace. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. What's good with the family? Peace, good afternoon, greetings. Happy hump day, happy Wednesday, happy leg day. All right? Peace, y'all. What's good with you? Good afternoon. Greetings, peace. What's up? What's good? How you doing today? All right. Greetings, y'all. Yeah, let me get engaged. Let me get into this one here. Roll sleeves up. What does your hat stand for? This is NAGA, National Asiatic Galactic Association. Yeah, so it's a brand that deals with us seeing ourselves in the future. It's an Afro-future brand, you know what I mean? So we can see ourselves projected into the future. And we the Nagas. This is the year of the snake, ain't it? Right? And it has a lot of cross correlations, you know, the snake and the dragon, all of these all of these motifs that were once exclusively identifying factors for ours, now they demonize it. So if I say a dragon or if I say a snake, you have negative connotations in your mind based on whatever level of indoctrination you may have been exposed to. So if I be like, Doc, if I be like the Nagas, and the Nagas are serpents, so the Nagas are snakes, you be like, oh, I don't do serpents, I don't do snakes. We all have a serpent inside of us. It's called Kundalini energy. The energetic coil that forms at the coccyx, which is the base of your spine, that makes it all the way up into your higher realms of your thought. So, you know, metaphysically, physically, categorically, we are all intertwined with the serpent. It would do us a lot better to get to know what these energies represent than to be, I'm not spooked by anything, I'm not demystified by anything. You know, we need to defangle some of these concepts and terms because grown folks walking around on planet Earth as human beings with as much power as you endow as a human, being scared of an animal, being scared of a symbol, being scared of a motif, being scared of another person is nonsensical to the assignment that you signed up for and you came down here to execute, my nigga. Stop squandering the deal of a lifetime for peanuts. And the peanuts is like the elephants that are scared by a mouse or the elephant that becomes crippled because it steps on a pebble. My nigga, stop letting them small pebbles in your shoe slow up your steady progression, right? We need to be hyper-focused. We need to be hyper-aware. We need to move at a hyper speed right now. And I know I'm not French and I'm speaking this wee stuff. Let me just say I'm speaking to myself, right? If I'm looking in the screen and I can't necessarily see you and identify you, it's a self-affirming conversation that I'm having with myself, to myself, about myself. So don't take it personal, okay? And what I wanted to do, because we have this tendency to think that, you know, everybody's automatically going to know what we're speaking about, or everyone knows the perspective that we are approaching these concepts or these things from. You know, you can hear me on the internet and be like, this nigga's batshit crazy, right? And when I looked at the State of the Union, and something very interesting popped out. I mean, something very interesting has popped out to me perspective-wise from looking at the public's response or reception to this administration and the things that it's doing, right? Now, I have melanated friends that are MAGA. And they I can't bring no conspiracy to them because you have to understand there's a thin line between MAGA and woke. Both of them were born in a petri dish of conspiracy. They both cater to some of the same conspiracies, but even those conspiracies are received by people differently based on a person's orientation, right? Based on your philosophy, your philosophical outlook on life, your orientation, and sometimes, as we're seeing, your political affiliation and association. Because there's some things that we don't want to learn about our heroes and our besties that might be earth-shattering, so we in denial. You know what I'm saying? We in denial. But they share that, some of them share the same conspiracy. So I can't even go to the MAGA people that I know and wake them up or shake them up by telling them something conspiratorial, because that's how they got there. That's how they got there, right? And woke is an abbreviation. Look, consciousness is conservative. Consciousness is so conservative that only a few people could fit on that bus, right? If you didn't live on 125th or come up in Harlem, or, you know, was on a side net video, you was not considered part of the conscious community. I'm sorry to break it to you. And that's where woke formed, because consciousness being so conservative, they didn't let LGBT in, they didn't let niggas with 9 to 5s in. If you graduated, niggas ain't want you around us, right? If you come from the church, you couldn't fit in. So they had to form something on their own, and it was a youth-driven movement, you know, by young girls with forceps in their noses and shit like that. But they kind of like all gravitated towards some of the content that you come across online when consciousness was making its mark on the world. You know what I'm saying? Both the roads went this way, and woke went that way. There's the woke left and there's the woke right. I'm writing a book on it, please. I'm getting very academic with it too. So I'll lay that book out when it's ready, and it will be ready soon. But what I watched and seen is perspective, right? I'm like, those people that's banging the right, they believe everything that Trump was saying, and they are celebrating the golden age of America. And you can't tell them perspective-wise that what they're looking at is not someone that they believe in fulfilling promises. Even if he told them, look, you're going to have to bleed for a little while for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to make it right with you. They believe him, and because of their belief, they're willing to sacrifice. Now, the question with us is, what do we believe in? We swear that we know it all, even though we are in the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius stands for I know, right? Nigga, what do you know, right? Because what do you believe in as a people? We don't have no beliefs that are solidified and solid that we could stand on, that are unshakable and immeasurable, or not up for... We got some shit that we believe in that's not up for sale, it's not up for consideration or none of that. Like the MAGA, the far right, they have a belief in the continuity and the continuance of family, so they're not willing to compromise that for alternative forms of family. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't with none of the reforms, right, that the progressive left was bringing. They don't want no variations, right? They want their stuff to be right here. That's what they believe in. They believe that they killed, maimed, right, for this land, just like Trump told them, right? And Trump was borrowing out of a playbook that was laid out by Jordan Peterson when he told white folks, you don't have nothing to be embarrassed about, you don't have nothing to be ashamed of, and you don't need to hold your head down, lift your head up high. He said that you got here, you conquered 3 things to get here. There's no reason that you should share it with anybody else. And this is what they're telling themselves and they're telling their children. These are the things that they believe that have galvanized them to give them the force to push the way that they're pushing, right? Irrespective of your feelings, because they're like, look, we don't entrust our feelings in your hand because you've already shown us that, you know what I'm saying, you're not to be trusted. So Jordan Peterson told him you conquered the terrain. Jordan Peterson told him that you conquered the tribes. And Jordan Peterson told him that they conquered their God, which is their theos. So Jordan Peterson said, Western man, if you conquered all 3 of these things, you don't got to share it with no fucking Indian spics niggas. And I'm sorry, you know, I don't want to use this vernacular to be so graphic, but this is what they're telling their people. And this is the energy that you're seeing. This is the attitude that they're coming at you with. Because they have been conditioned based on what? The philosophies that have been entrained upon them for them to believe a particular thing, regardless if it's true or not. They believe it. My nigga, what do you believe is the question, right? Because this is where faith kicks in, right? This is where faith kicks in. This is just is it true though? That's a good question. And this is where the real tough realizations have to kick in. We got to be real with ourselves. In order to get to the other phase of things, we got to get past our wounds. And we gloss our wounds over a lot because the shit is embarrassing and it hurts. Right? And power concedes nothing without a demand. So it's very hard for us to say, yo, we took a L. You know, even if it was a temporary loss. Like, damn. Somebody took something from somebody for us to be in a situation that we in, my nigga. This is not all just a dream, right? Somebody got hit over their head and they got their shit taken. Somebody took our lunch and we supposed to be getting it back. We don't supposed to be looking to split the lunch with the person that took it from us. But that's a whole nother narrative. I wanted to do this because, like I said, I'm looking at perspectives, and perspectives shift everything. Because those people that were sitting, like I said, the people that were sitting to the right of Trump, the perspective-wise is they're winning, that their president is keeping his promises, and that they are in the dawning of the golden age of America. And then when you look to the left, you see all the long-ass faces. These niggas was on their Twitter. They was being so disrespectful. Now, even if you are not appreciative of the administration and the president that's in power, and I'm speaking about Congress, right? Because these are representatives of the people. They have no choice. They're literally, you know, in legislation or on Congress to represent the people, but you represent the country, which represents America. And it's like, damn, like, what, you don't like that record? What are their options? They want to see the country fail, to see the political party catch a L, right? Then what is that going to do to the people? The people are always collateral damage in these shootouts between political parties. The people always end up collateral damage in these shootouts between political parties. You feel me? So this shit is about perspective, and it's about controlling the narrative at the end of the day. So, again, because I can't assume that people know what we know or even understand the concepts that we, you know, the angles that we come from with these concepts, right? I have read a plethora of books. Don't mean that I'm smarter than you. I don't claim to know it all. And I'm not saying that I know more than you. I'm saying that my perspective has been formed by the literature that I've exposed myself to, because it has had an indelible effect on my philosophy, my ideology, my outlook, and my understanding about life, myself, where I fit in the paradigm and the design of things, and my assignment, right? I'm informed about my assignment based on how I'm able to, you know, study history and decide where I want to contribute at, right? So I think that it would be a good idea, especially since I'm operating out of a bookstore now, if we did a book club. Because, like, truth be told, we're not at a space where we can advance. We have to go a little bit back. And I don't mean like falling back. I'm just saying we got to go back to reading. Let's read some books. Let's get this education all over. Let's renew our education, right? Stand on what we say that we know, confirm what we believe, and then we can go out as subject matter experts and speak to the people with authority about the shit that we just learned through trial and error. And when I'm saying trial and error, nigga, I'm not asking for a vial of blood. I'm saying that trial and error might be we read something, have a Q&A, discuss it, you know. And again, it's perspective. So just because I read something or understand it one way don't mean that you would, but that's healthy discourse for us to see this is the way of the world. Two people can read the same thing and it could come out totally different. Like, let me see if I can find some examples. Right? Let me see if I can find some examples. All right, look. RFK Jr. sparks alarm after backing vitamins to treat measles amid outbreak. So obviously he believes that he has an alternative to the measles outbreak. He had to have read something in his past that informed him, right, that there was an alternative. And based on trial and error, he was able to see whether these alternative pills are going to work or not. Now, what did he tell him? Get vitamin C? Ivermectin? I'm jacking names up. Y'all gotta trying to sound deep as shit. Ivermectin. Let's see what he says. He says, and he's in the crosshair because the Maha already turned against him because they said that he was recommending vaccines for the measles the other day. Now they're saying that he's recommending pills. Look, they're setting this guy up to be the fall guy. He's the first one. He's going to be the first fall guy. You do know this. And I don't want to see him fail, so I'm not speaking this on him. And again, where there's a thin line between where MAGA and woke meet is this guy right here. He represents that thin line. Right? He represents that thin line. He's the thin line between where woke and MAGA meet. You feel me? Because I know mad woke people that's cheering for him as well. He's the last holdout. They're like, as long as RFK Jr. is in there, shit, it can't be that bad now, can it? RFK Jr., the U.S. Health Secretary, has caused alarm amongst pediatricians, vaccine experts, and lawmakers with an opinion piece that focuses on vitamin A and nutrition as treatments for measles. Right? In response to a measles outbreak in Texas, which resulted in the first American measles death in nearly a decade, Kennedy wrote for Fox News about the benefits of good nutrition and vitamin A, but did not explicitly recommend highly effective vaccines. Now, which one is it? Because they're saying that he did. It's and I quote, in fact, relying on vitamin A instead of the vaccine is not only dangerous and ineffective, but it puts children at serious risk. Dr. Sue Creasley, right? So they're coming for him. And I don't think it's going to be that hard for them to, you know what I mean, for him to be the first casualty. Because I'll say my observations for myself. No, I won't. This technocracy, right? It's a technocracy. And one of the main things that the technocrats believe in is transhumanism and the merger between cybergenetics with, you know, with your biology. The fourth industrial age says that these chips have to merge with you, right? So with Big Pharma, with them privatizing, they're gonna privatize education. They're also gonna privatize medicine, and they're gonna privatize Social Security and all of that stuff. Anything that comes with that, they're gonna attempt to privatize it, but it's gonna be heavily driven. SoftBank and OpenAI did not make a $500 billion investment in Project Stargate, stand on live TV to tell you we can create 48-hour mRNA vaccines, right? They didn't make that investment or make that statement for them to turn around and say, oh, we not finna be giving y'all vaccines because RFK Jr.'s in the goddamn building. That's not how it works. You feel me? So today is Trump's 44th day in office, right? Today is day 44, and 44 means war, and so does Wednesday. Wednesday equals 44. So today, of course, in the headlines, what do you see? You see them talking about war, right? China says it's ready for any type of war with the U.S., and Pete Hegseth, who is the guy over the Pentagon right now, the ex-Fox News podcaster, right? He said, bring it. And he said, we ready for war. Right? See, I think that, this is the brutal American. I was going to show y'all something else. Where's this shit at? So, yeah, they're strumming, again, you know what I mean? A war is a war is a war. And if you understand the nature of war, it don't got to be bullets. A trade war is a war. Majority of all wars start out as trade wars. So on the 44th day, on Tuesday, because Tuesday is governed by Mars, on his 43rd day, he set the trade war off. he declared war on his 43rd day, and on the 44th day, right, China said they ready for war, and then the U.S. came back and said, yeah, nigga, let's bring it, right? They said we ready for war anytime, anywhere. Now they bluffing, of course, you know what I mean? But it makes for good TV, as Trump would say. It makes for good TV. Makes for good TV. This is gonna make for good TV. Where is it at? God damn it. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find this article for y'all. But hopefully you take my word for it. You can Google this shit, right? This is news that's taking place right now in real time. This guy right here, right? Remember what I always tell you, never take your eyes off of him. He is the key. I'll do a whole lecture on him one day. Don't take your eyes off of him, all right? Please, whatever you do, don't take your eyes off of him. Don't take your eyes off of him. Okay? The nukes are not the equalizer. They're bluffing. They're not going to go to war with China. You know what I'm saying? It's a trade war. It's going to get real ugly to a degree, but they'll make concessions with China. They're not ready to go to war with China. They're not going to go to war with China. And China owns, they wanted to beat China. They don't want to go to war with China. But they're bluffing. They're doing the white man bluff. This is, they call it 5-dimensional chess, but it's just world star wrestling. That's all it is. It's world star wrestling. You know what I'm saying? World star wrestling. That's all. So, yeah, they're this is what they do. They bluff. They have to project some level of quote unquote strength. You know what I'm saying? Today, like I said, it's the 44th day. The number 44 means military. It's a number that connects with Mars. We're moving into the Aries season. So they're going to posture as if they're going to war. But I definitely do think that they're going to escalate the war in Gaza during this particular time, because that's the setup. They need to do what they need to do in Gaza before Passover 2025 so they could get to the sacrifice of the red heifer. And all of that is already in motion. It's in play. They've already sent the emails out, my nigga. Trust me when I tell you that they are totally convinced that they're going to be able to build a third temple with Trump in place. So it's not so much about them seizing Gaza and making it an oasis, right? And yeah, they want to grab the gas rights off of the Mediterranean, but it's more so about the third temple, right? That's why they brought King Jordan, the King of Jordan, to the White House, because Jordan is responsible for supplying the warriors to protect the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So if they tell Jordan to stand down, who's going to protect the mosque, right? Then they told you that the Doge workers were not being paid, just to come to find out that these 20-year-olds are getting high 6-figure salaries and they're getting paid from the same departments that they're gutting. So someone took offense the other day and it was like, oh, you don't like them finding waste? And I'm like, I don't object to them finding quote unquote waste if that's what you're saying that they doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no issue with that. But don't tell me about thieves outing thieves. Like, nigga, I was in the streets. I know how that shit works. You feel me? Like, that's nothing to get excited about. You still getting robbed, right? They haven't abated that practice as of yet. And why would they? Why would they? Everybody got an agenda. You the only one without an agenda, wondering if people that you put in charge they're going to be so nice that they don't have an agenda. Nigga, everybody got an agenda. Everybody but you. You feel me? Because people with agenda is never questioning whether someone else has an agenda. Right? Who don't got an agenda? Who don't got an agenda? Right? And people saying they was mad petty for holding up signs. Do you not know that this is a protest for them niggas that's telling you that they're muzzled and they don't have a voice anymore? So this is their form of protest. They got to hold up placards. That means that the country's in a very weird place. If the people who you sent to Congress, who's supposed to be your mouthpieces, are saying, look, I don't got no mouthpiece no more, man. I got to hold up signs at the State of the Union. You know what I'm saying? You know how they be holding up safe words and shit like that? Like, somebody go check on them people, please. I have no idea what type of abuse must be taking place in D.C., but I can only imagine they're whipping these niggas something terrible. You know what I'm saying? It's like some get out shit. You know what I mean? You know how to be like, flash your code if you need help. These niggas is telling you that they need help. They need help. They need help bad. You know what I'm saying? Peace, my brother. This dude is unprecedented in the level of fear and terror that he's striking in the heart of the people who he's choosing to be his ops. And I mean, democracy is the ops. You know what I'm saying? Democracy is the ops. So if you hold on to democratic ideals and things of that nature, you are in for a rude awakening, right? These dudes have switched out their entire modus operandi to be unapologetic about how they're going forward, right? And we got to be very mindful because there is philosophical, there's psychological, there's a lot of different impactful things that are bound to happen. So we're looking at a political party that has lost all of its voice. Now, I don't agree with Andrew Tate, right? But I watch a little bit of, I watch a lot of content, things that come across my desk. I always want to be mindful of what's right, keeping myself mindful of what's going on. So Andrew Tate was on Valuetainment the other day, and he was saying that Europe is a feminized continent that doesn't have any male leadership, right? So, come on, come on. This is all about. Hold on. This is all about. This is about masculinity, right? This is about them reappropriating, right, what they're templating and laying down as masculinity. This is a masculinity takeover, right? And y'all was complaining saying that this shit is toxic. Now it's going to the extreme where it's a war, right? It's a war for the framing of masculinity. And it's an interesting time because it's at the cusp of, again, they like, yeah, men need to get in contact with their divine feminine. This is the rebuttal to that argument, right? This has been going totally to the extreme and just going opposite of that, right? So what they're practicing now is called deodorant diplomacy. If you are a beta, if you're less than what's considered a man in them, they're throwing you under the deodorant, okay? They're throwing you under the deodorant. And Trump is dealing with an aggressive form of quote-unquote masculinity that almost like it comes back like a boomerang. Because they feel denuded, white male privilege is what has been denuded. White male privilege is what was fragility on the ropes, right? And now they got to come back on. Give me a second. I'm trying to go at that. God, come on. Shit. if you try to call somebody and they don't answer 3 times, that person is busy. So back to the masculinity thing. There's a tendency during democratic regimes when the testosterone falls, right, to debilitating levels. There's 3 things going on, okay? In the Western world, the only nation with a birth positive rate is Israel. In the First Nation worlds, Africa as a continent is the only place with a progressive population and a positive birth rate. They consider that third world. That's not First Nation, unfortunately. So we're saying the Western worlds. We're speaking about European worlds and their allies. The Western world of which you belong to, my nigga. We got this concept, and I'm not saying that it's a thwarted concept, but you belong, you exist in the global north and the global south. So you got to learn fucking geopolitics right now. Because your ass, your physical ass is on one continent and your goddamn mind is on another continent. My nigga, what do you pledge allegiance to? What the fuck do you believe in? What do you know about yourself? What do you know about where you are at? What do you know about your surroundings? Right? What do you know about this continent? You exist in the global north and in the global south, which is considered the third world, regardless of how you feel about it, my nigga. I just have to speak to you in the language that's being utilized right now so you don't get fucking lost in your ideologies, man. Okay? Now, we can extract all sorts of pride and messaging and you know, we could see my homie in Burkina Faso and be like, yeah, that's what leadership looks like. My nigga, you have to implement it here, right? This is where the going down is going down. Masculinity, men have to step to the forefront and be seen again. They have to move as men. They have to do what men do. Men build, men protect, men provide, right? Men motherfucking lower the cortisol because the presence of testosterone on the scene means that these women will stop having to be so goddamn concerned and worried about their future because you're going to need her to do whatever the fuck it is that you're going to do, my nigga. You passport bros have gotten us to a situation where, you know, or just, it's not even the passport bros, it's just this whole manosphere communication and conversation, my nigga. We need these women wherever we going because I do not want to go with you niggas alone, okay? So let's figure this shit out. And let's not figure it out on the fucking internet in front of the ops. Okay? We have to restore the masculinity back, right? Make America masculine again for melanated men specifically. But those melanated men have to what? Now you got to come in your divine feminine balance because we can't have a version of you niggas just on some Black Trump shit. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. We can't frame ourselves in a melanated version of white America or white man. That's not gonna work. You feel me? And it's not ego, it's not flexing. My nigga, like a man is like fucking a Kendrick. And I'm only saying like this, like, he prioritized the fact that he's raising his son, right? He with that woman, yeah, you should marry that woman. I'm going to mind my business because I should marry mine as well, right? But he got priorities, right? He's able to go and handle business and still bring it back to the crib. He got one woman at home. He ain't got to be on no hangout shit. When you pop out, you make a scene. You make such a scene that it reverberates around the world, and you're raising children through your example, not just your own children, but you put an example. My nigga, there's not been one night that I don't watch that Super Bowl performance before I go to bed like it's a fucking nighttime story. Not one night. It's not one night. And I'm not just speaking for myself, because I'm sure that a bunch of other people share that, but I'm seeing the effect that it's having on children. And I'm looking at these babies that are responding to Kendrick in the way that they're mimicking him and imitating him and being inspired by him. And I'm like, is that the way that children would stand in front of the TV and imitating ratchetness? Is that the way that the children stand in front of the TV and be imitating when the knuckle draggers got the spotlight. Now I'm starting to see the shit. I'm like, wow. So they were speaking to our babies like that. I'm seeing young girls respond to SZA in a way in which, like a divine feminine should talk to a child, and at least it be on the border. She wasn't butt-ass naked. She was sensual without being overly sexual, because she was in her feminine. And I think that little girls can respect that as well, by not thinking that it was overtly overt. You know what I'm saying? It was enough to entice their attention to be like, okay, all right, it's about as tasteful as you gonna get. You feel me? And he's dealing with a level of aggression that's still needed and necessary right now. This is not black people's soft era. So don't take this the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? But the soy boy shit, that level of consciousness is not gonna cut it right now. Right? You need some blood in your fucking mouth. And I don't know if that means that you need to stop being vegan, my nigga, but you need some blood in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back to the mentality where we got to go outside every day and kill to eat. We got to become hunters again. Now, this ain't for everybody, so don't get your panties in a bunch and be like, nah, my nigga with his manicured nails and his coifly curled up motherfucking hair. Yeah, maybe not him. Maybe not him. Maybe that nigga can run your day spa for you. But for the rest of them niggas, right, we gonna need them to get some fucking blood in their mouth and get that feeling again. Or what it means to go outside and kill every day if you need to eat. Because those is the times that we living in. And I don't mean that you clubbing your woman over her head and dragging her like you a caveman. It means that, you gotta be ready for whatever. And the way to get that way is already to be that way. Like, I get up and I train every day, so you stay ready so you don't got to get ready. Right? You should train having to go out to kill every day to eat, so if it comes to that, you won't be motherfucking in shock. Right? So, I wanted to ask, personally, because I said I think that it would be a great idea if we utilize this time together in the space that we have, to get on our book club shit. So if you guys will pick a book, I'll start reading it. You feel me? But I wanna hold entire sessions where we get back to not only reading the books, right, but performance arts, like actually getting into performing the reading, almost like theater. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you can see all of these titles, but if y'all see something that we need to get into right now, right? Because I think that we need to reinforce the things that we think that we already know. You feel me? It's obvious we got to go back to the drawing board, my niggas. You feel me? And before we get super fucking deep, I think that we need to touch on some of the basics before we get super deep. Before we get to Kabbalistic metaphors and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Before we get here, we should get here. You feel me? Before we get here, no, this is a good place to start. All right? Black man, green beret. You feel me? There's some melanated men need this. Retired U.S. Army combat veteran, executive protection specialist, private investigator, and former special forces weapons sergeant, right? Some of us need that because you're going to have to know how to move. Some of us need this when it comes to learning how to create discernment, right? They'll show you how to utilize 3 pennies so you can come to your own decisions, or when you make choices, you can check them with the I Ching system, the I King system. This is a 20,000-year-old system that's verified. I'm trying to tell you, my nigga, it works. Right? It works. I utilize this as one of my tiers of confirmation, my spiritual confirmations. Look, yeah, let me go to this shit because it's time. All right? Make spirit great again. You feel me? Make spirit great again. Right? Or we got to go here. We got to go here. We ain't no niggas. We got to go here. Feel me? Or we got to go here for my melanated brothers. Right? We might have to go there. Or we got to go here for some of our people. Or we got to go here. Right? We got to go to the healing. Shout out to my brother King Simon. Right? Numeration. Another layer of discernment when it comes to checking the decisions that you made. You know, it might be a day. You like, okay, today is 3/5. You know, that's 8. Okay, what does that mean? Yeah. Another layer of confirmation for the decisions that you make. We might have to go here. Right? Free your mind and your mind will follow. So we do that with this. We do the mound. We do the mound with the geomancy. You feel me? We take you to the sacred places of North America. And then we go to the big boy McCoy, which is the illustrated encyclopedia of Native American Indian mounds and earthworks, right? And we get the skinny. We see what really these indigenous family and people have left on this continent. All of this magic, all of this geomancy, all of this utilization of the ley lines, of the land, right? And we talking about make America great again. What about the land? Because that's America's beautiful, continent-wise, land-wise. She ain't never done nothing to us. She held us down from day one. 4 grams, brother A.A. Rashid, one of his nominal tomes. Feel me? When we get to Kabbalah, we'll go through that, right? Hidden cities, right? The Cahokia family, the Mississippi and Delta family. When I talk the shit that I talk about, right? When I be like, yeah, Kendrick going back to New Orleans is him returning home, because if you know anything about the transmigrational patterns of melanated people that came from the Mississippi Delta region that ended up in Chicago, nigga. Chicago goes to LA, but they all come from Mississippi, Louisiana area. So I already knew that he was coming home because he from here. But we got to learn about Cahokia. It's one of my favorite books. I had like 6 different versions of it because every time I lend it to somebody, they steal it. Right? And I said steal. I didn't say, yeah. A Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe, Mathematical Archetypes of Nature, Art, and Science. This helps me a lot. I be talking a lot of shit coming from this book because I understood archetypes. So I was able to learn patterns once I understood archetypes. And once I got my patterns down, that's how I was able to communicate with the cosmos with numbers, right? These are the things that started me off. Look, concepts in case law and analysis in the law of contracts. Let me say this, man. Turn this goddamn thing off real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me say this. And rest in peace to Angie Stone, right? I spent the better half of last year, 6 months, shout out to my business partner, H Factor, right? We deep dived into learning everything that we could possibly learn about contracts and the ins and out about how to get paid with these royalties. That's why we got our own OTT streaming network, because we cracked the code and figured out how to make the money out the black box. Not just for music, right? But for content creators too. There's so many ways that you could make bread off of content creation. And we are dedicated to teach the variety of those ways that we learned over here at the bookstore. So that's one of the main things that we'll be teaching. We'll be teaching education on contracts and really how to get your, your SRC, your IPI, all of your, get dressed for the party when you sign in contracts, or when you're either signing contracts or you're, creating music, creating any sort of content, you can monetize it if you know exactly how to monetize it, or if you are properly licensed and you can monetize it. So I've just been baffled to say, as many L's that we've taken as melanated people, you would think that the first thing that we would do is like, yo, we're going to dedicate time towards learning contracts. Because who ain't got beat by a contract? Why haven't we put our brain trust together? Why niggas have not created something that can decipher or explain contracts? Why are we still lost when it comes to legalese? So books like this are imperative, right? Concepts and case analysis and the law of contracts. Why do you think that they have a ship on there? Because they're explaining to you about maritime law. My whole spiel that I was attempting to explain about why New Orleans is so significant. There's only 2 cities in this country that matter. And not to take anything from any other city, right? This is not me being city centric. I'm saying the formation of this country, right? There's 2 key crux cities that make all the difference because they're tied into the Vatican. New York City, right? That's tied into the Vatican by the Archdiocese of New York. The NYPD is the only metropolitan police force in the country, right? Because they are ordained by the Archdiocese of New York. And then the only other one is the Archdiocese of New Orleans, right? Because that's where they acquire the Napoleonic Civil Code, which is Roman civil law. When they acquired the Louisiana Purchase, they also got the Roman law that comes along with it. And that Roman law that Napoleon was practicing was maritime. So when they brought the maritime law on land, that's how they was able to codify the law here and create UCC. You understand? So that's why the family that live in Louisiana, you know about your penitentiary system, you know about the codification, you know about the goddamn what do they call them shits? Well, y'all don't got boroughs, y'all got you know what y'all got. Them shits, right? Yeah, all that stuff. Those are the only 2 that matter. Right? In terms of the control, how they run the shit. They're running it from New York and New Orleans. They're running it from the St. Louis Cathedral, and they're running it from St. Patrick's Cathedral. Okay? So, as I said, family, the books. Let's decide what book we're going to read, right? The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. I don't think we're ready to start there. That's not where we start at, right? Black Wall Street. Shout out to Billy Carson. We ain't going to start with Emerald Tablets, but we're going to get there, right? Keys to Sacred Science, Geometry, and Numerology in Islam. We're going to get there. All right? My brothers, after you say I do, shout out to Nuri Muhammad. We're going to get there as well. Shout out to my brother Oba. We need to start here as well. A glass of water and a candle. Let me bring this back up. Right? If we're going to make spirit great again, we need to figure out some of the most rudimentary forms of spirituality, some of the straight go-tos. We need to, we need to dig in Nana's bag. And this is what Nana was utilizing. A glass of water and a candle sometimes. And that shit can make things move, right? That could tap you into spirit realm. That could have you paying homage to your direct ancestry. You feel me? I ain't trying to turn none of y'all out with no weird ass spirituality. This is straight. This ain't voodoo. And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, nigga, you can pour a glass of water in a crystal glass. You can light a candle and put a picture out, my nigga. That's not asking too much. And if it is, this might not be the life for you. You know? And you got that show enough prayer power, my nigga. You need to come through and bless some of us then. Mathematical theology and the physics of God. We need to get here, right? chemistry of currency. We need to talk about it. Music and meditation. Yup. Powers of the Orisha. You feel me? Can't rule it out. The destruction of black civilization. We got to go back to basics. We got to go back to basics, y'all. I'm here for it. Color magic for beginners. If you're doing marketing and shit like that, you know, for the businesses, we could get into that. We could get into that. Outliers. The story of success. We definitely got to read about some outliers because this is what I'm asking you to be. I'm asking you to be an outlier. I'm asking you to be a standout. I'm asking you to dig deeper and go harder and figure it out and find out what you really have internally in you that came bundled and bottle wrapped that was ready to be unveiled and unleashed during these times. I'm asking this of you. So yes, we need to read outliers. You feel me? Cash flow quadrants. We got to go back to financial literacy school, right? Hidden messages and hidden messages in water. We definitely got to go there, right? Shout out Dr. Emoto. Golden age of the Moors. We could get there. We could get there. We could get there. My brother, Professor Griff. Analytics, right? Definitely have to get here. Urban culture decoded. We definitely got to circle the block and get here. Black Dot. You know what I'm saying? These brothers have written some prophetic tomes, and they gave us a lot of bars early in the game that we deserve. We deserve to get back to some of these bars. Motivational speaker 101, because I want y'all to have bars. I want y'all to know how to project. I want you to know how to get up there and speak in front of crowds of people. I want, you know, we could do the ice breaking. You know, you shouldn't be scared to speak in front of, and that is one of the things that people fear the most. But I can help you with that. What we got here? I definitely want to do this, right? The indigenous history of hemp, right? Because this is a dispensary as well, and I want to take some of the sting out of the power of hemp, because we get that bundled up too much when we talk about GMO weed and stuff. It's like, yeah, that's cute and that's okay, but what about the hemp? Let's not ignore what's going on. And this brother right here, you can't go wrong doing right. Now, this is the story of Robert J. Brown, right? A child of poverty rose to the White House and helped change the world. I think that this is appropriate, and I want to vote on this as one of the books that I want to get directly into, because we don't know nothing about some of these icons. Robert J. Brown, he was responsible for the man that was born right over there. You see it, that yellow house? That's where Martin Luther King was born. And Robert Brown was the person who was responsible for getting the money for the civil rights movement, because he worked at a PR firm that had Woolworth as clients. And he was able to jug the corporations to get the bread for the civil rights brothers to do their thing. We don't got nobody right now like that in our community that could go to the corporations and get the bag. They call that shit DEI. But Robert Brown was able to do that. He meant so much to King that Coretta wanted him to come on a plane with her to go to get the body out of Memphis. Now, he ends up going to South Africa. He ends up meeting the South African, administration that was in at that time, because Richard Nixon hired him after King died to continue the civil rights policy. He's responsible for creating what's called black capitalists. He told Nixon to cut the check. These are people that affected my father's life. They affected my life because my father was a recipient of one of these programs when he was rabble-rousing on the campus of Columbia. They gave them niggas jobs. You know what I'm saying? It made them capitalists. So Nixon tapped him. This is why Nixon had the highest percentage of the black vote before Donald Trump eclipsed it. He had 12% at the time, and that was because of this individual named Robert Brown saying, yo, he made good on the bag. He made good on his campaign promises, and he cut the check. Like it or love it, this is the history that we need to know because it happened. when Robert Brown got to South Africa, the president, both the apartheid nigga, right? Because now you're looking at the apartheid regime. It's right here. Elon, you got Peter Thiel, and you got the other dude. I forget his name at the moment. It'll pop up, right? But all three of them, they all come from South Africa, apartheid. So this man, Robert Brown, gets to South Africa, meets the president. The president is like, yo, how can I help you? He's like, I want to see Nelson Mandela. He's like, nigga, nobody seen Nelson Mandela. He's like, I came to see Nelson. Botha called Reagan. Reagan put Botha under his deodorant and said, yo, that's my nigga right there. You do whatever he wants. He let Robert Brown go and see Nelson Mandela, and he brought Nelson Mandela's daughter and her husband to see him. They only seen him for 15 minutes up until that point. They had an hour to 2 hour visit with him, and not before long after that, he got freed. This man was able to do this with the connections that he had and the sacrifices that he made. And he's still alive, and we don't know a goddamn thing about him. Right? But we here motherfucking fixing our face like we know it all, like we know something, like we the shit. And we don't have no fucking idea about what was sacrificed and the plays that was put into place, the things that was done for you to get here, for us to just throw every fucking thing away and make all sorts of concessions. And they not even leaning on us to make the concessions. They like, give us that shit. Niggas is just giving shit away. I just don't get it. I just don't get it, man. But look, if y'all seen some of these books that you feel that we need to get to, right? Angel Magic, y'all need some of this? The Mysteries of Numbers, revealed through their digital root, right? This is digging in deep. This is when you can start doing some motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? You can start doing some 44 magic and shit like that if you figure out a few things. The Inner Reaches of Outer Space. Okay? My brother, Rizza Islam, Message to the Millennials. You feel me? What else we got here? Great Controversy. How will it end? Rocket Ages, right? We could talk about crystals. I don't know if we're going to do that right now. Ancient Science of Love. From Carthage to America. If y'all want to know what I be talking about when I be talking about Hannibal and shit like that, yeah, this would be the book for that. You know what I'm saying? These be them books you find on the corners in New York. Magical Mushrooms, Mischievous Moles. If you want to take all of this thing out of the illusion about what, quote unquote, mushrooms are and what they ain't, Shungite. Right, protection, healing, and detoxification. If RFK don't move quick enough with the 5G, you're gonna need you some Shungite. Right, tune in the Human Biofield. On Mondays and various days, we have brothers in here with sound bowls and tuning forks. And shout out to my brother Lou. We do all sorts of breathing classes and shit in here. We got a lot going on. You feel me? We got a lot going on, and this is just one room in the venue. It's like 4 or 5 other rooms, and it's a whole dispensary downstairs. So, pull up on us, man. Right? And give me some feedback about the books so I can start setting off the series, like starting tomorrow. And we could do live readings. Y'all could pull up and shit. And look, I want to start, and if I want to start a book, if we could knock it out in a day, I'll give you 4 hours. I'll give you 4 hours, nigga. I'll read for 4 hours. And then somebody else could come in and read for 2 hours. And then somebody else could come and read for 2 hours, and I think we could finish a book in 8 hours. I'm dead ass. Yo, what's up, Dylan? It's my guy right there. Shout out to my brother Dylan. He pulled up. I met Dylan in the backwoods of a forest in the middle of nowhere in Oregon, like 5 hours off the beaten path.
You know what I'm saying? Me and Blue Dream, we snuck off from our group and we went deep in the woods to get some alone time. And I ran into Dylan. Dylan has come to Invest Fest with us. Dylan has come to retreats. Dylan is out in Bali getting his knuckle game together. And Dylan got bars, right? Shout out to Dylan. Dylan, I'm in album mode. Holla at me. Shoot me a DM. We got to get some content. You feel me? We got to get something finished. But look, I love y'all. As always, family. This venue is open. You know what I mean? We got a lot going on here, and I would love for y'all to pull up and just, holler at your folk. You know what I mean? We working with some amazing opportunities over here, and we'd love to extend that to you. Black man, the Green Beret, that's the one you was feeling. Can I get some feedback from some of y'all? Because there's a lot going on. So based on the titles that you see and the angles that we feel that we need to get tighter on, that's where I'll delve into it. You know what I'm saying? What was the name of that Black Man Military book? Oh, man. Look, I got a pile. I put all these books back now. My shit piled up. Hold on. Oh, here we go. My guy. Black Man, Green Beret. You know what I'm saying? What was the Colors book name? What you mean the Colors book? Which one you mean the Colors book? Just give me an idea what you're speaking about. Thank you. The K. piece got channeled to me sometime last year in the spring, and I just listened and I downloaded it. Where did we find it? I don't know where I got this from, but there goes the QR code. Right, Fayetteville VR 902 Publishing. I will Google it. There goes the QR code. I mean the ISB, the barcode. There goes the shadow. There goes the website. You feel me? Yeah. Color marketing. Okay. I would love to go over any of these books with y'all. Like I said, if you DM me, the amount of ones that I see is you know what I'm saying, the ones that's winning, that's the one we're gonna go with. And I got crates. I got more crates of books. I got crates and crates of them. You know what I'm saying? I got secret libraries. I got shit that I ain't even bring out the vault yet. And it's an open call for other thought leaders in the community that, if you want to lend us your library, like how they do at museums, like how they do with endowments and shit like that. Bring your books here. We get, you know what I mean? We get in the right state of mind and shit in here. We get around and we sit around, and when we not looking at our TV and all of that and playing, you know what I'm saying, on the sticks and what have you, we reading, we dialoguing. Look, here go the podcast room. We take it over here. We go to bathrooms. Look, kids. Yeah, y'all can match the collection. We do our podcast. Shout out to my brother 19 Keys. Me and Red got an amazing podcast coming with him. We shot here the other day. You know what I'm saying? You could come and join, Got the little ball thing popping. And it's just the second floor. So, we got a hole downstairs. So, if y'all in Atlanta and you need somewhere to create, you know what I'm saying? You need to be amongst a melanated think tank. If you pulling up to Atlanta, if you visiting, come and see us. Like I said, it's a consumption lounge, so you can actually burn bud here. Nowhere else in the city got it like that. And we got 2 locations. 2 of them. Oh yeah, and then like I said, you could get outside on the balcony. You could get right. You know, look at the skyline. Goddamn it. Listen, man, this joint right here is very necessary. We gotta learn these contracts, man. I get so upset by seeing my people who we look at like they giants. They did so much, and everyone is getting beat by the same play. The small hats is whooping niggas out of shape and taking all of their royalties. Our sister got caught and was called a black box. That's when your people don't fill your paperwork out the right way. All your money goes into what's called a black box. Means that can't nobody get to your money, and then they give that shit out after 2 or 3 years. It goes to like the Quincy Jones and the top niggas and shit like that. They disperse your funds amongst rich niggas cause you ain't do your paperwork right. That's what's taking place. Look it up, nigga. Look it up. So not only did she get jerked to her money, right? Her money got dispersed through her peers because she didn't know how to claim her money. We the smartest people in the fucking world. We said we did this, we wrote that. We wrote confederacies, we wrote constitutions. We want to claim it all, but you niggas can't read contracts. And you been getting whooped from fucking contracts since we got over here. You niggas can't read contracts and we can't read treaties. And you don't think that that's an issue that we should stop before we send another motherfucking kid to school, right? Or before we have another goddamn baby. Because let's not talk about soul contracts. That's a whole nother conversation. I need an hour. We ain't sent a motherfucker to school yet to figure out these goddamn contracts. But we got the nerve to come outside and show our face? Or cry when one of these goddamn, these historic giant artists of ours, you know how long she was getting beat? You know how long? You talking about a historic theft, my nigga. She was one of the first hip hop artists. She got beat by the lady from Sugar Hill Gang first before she started getting beat up by Clive Davis and them. You talking about 40 or 50 years of getting beat in the industry and having nothing to show for it. And you made millions upon millions of dollars and it all went into what's called a black box. And all of that shit gets split up by the big wigs in the recording industry. I'm going to do a whole show on it. But more importantly, here at the Bookstore Gallery, we actually have classes where we teach you how to get dressed for the party so you'll never have to get beat again. So you'll never get beat again. Right? And then you'll make royalties in perpetuity, meaning forever. Right? Because whoever made money off of her, they're making it forever because her royalties will never run out. And while y'all are admonishing her career and y'all are missing her and y'all paying homage, you're running up somebody else's bread right now by streaming her content because she's never going to get paid for it. And that's so unfortunate. And I think that it's time, the only way that we can redeem the travesties, the only way that we can make this shit right for our elders and our ancestors is to get it right. That's the only way. And I'm not giving away any more content. Why? Right? When we can do it the right way, we can take our time and do it the right way and really get paid and really make it make sense and really empower our families and shit. Your children are missing time from seeing you grow up, nigga, and you missing time from seeing them grow up. You in the motherfucking studio, your whiz is like, where you at? I was getting right so you could receive these royalties in perpetuity. So our children could eat from the 3 or 4 hours that I spent in the studio tonight. That's the come up. That's really, you know what I mean? Like that's really making it make sense. Like that's really getting rewarded from your art and your effort. And we all deserve that, especially those of us that are passionate about the art form and we respect the art form. You know what I'm saying? I want the best for y'all. Inside the wealthy black community that inspired a soap opera. Shout out to the DMV. I was like, yo, them niggas, they laid back. They should, and there's no such thing. Ray, holla at me, my brother.
All right? And with that, family, I want to say peace, love, and light. Appreciate y'all.